Have you ever felt like life is something that just happens to you, rather than something you create? Do you ever wonder why some people break barriers and thrive, while others remain trapped in the same cycles year after year? What if the limits you see in your life aren't real, but simply beliefs you've accepted without question? Science and philosophy both prove one powerful truth. Your thoughts shape your reality, your focus determines your path, and your actions define your future. The question is, are you ready to take control and rewrite the rules of your life? If you're ready to step into a new reality, comment 1 below so we can take this journey together. What if I told you that the life you are living is not the life you chose? That the struggles, limitations, and frustrations you feel every day are not fixed realities but illusions shaped by invisible rules you never agreed to? It may sound bold, even radical, but consider this. From the moment we are born, we are handed a script. This script, crafted by society, family, and cultural norms, tells us who we are, what we should believe, and what is possible for us. Over time, we internalize these rules, accepting them as truth, never realizing that we have the power to rewrite them. Imagine for a moment that you are walking through a vast, beautiful forest, but instead of seeing the full expanse of trees, rivers, and open sky, you are looking through a narrow telescope. Your world is confined to what that small lens allows you to see. This is how the human mind operates. We do not experience reality as it truly is, we experience reality as we have been conditioned to see it. Our brain, specifically a system called the reticular activating system, RAS, acts as a filter, selecting which information to focus on while discarding the rest. Have you ever learned a new word and suddenly started seeing it everywhere? That's your RAS at work. The moment something becomes relevant to you, your brain begins tuning into it. Now, think about this on a grander scale. If your brain can selectively filter a single word, imagine what it does with opportunities, risks, and possibilities. Scientific studies in cognitive psychology have repeatedly shown that our beliefs shape our perception. In a landmark study at Harvard, hotel housekeepers were divided into 2 groups. One group was told that their daily activities, vacuuming, lifting, scrubbing, counted as exercise, while the other group received no such information. After just 4 weeks, the first group showed significant health improvements: lower blood pressure, weight loss, and increased energy levels, despite no changes in their actual workload. The only difference? Their belief about what they were doing. Their perception of reality changed, and their bodies followed. Now, let's take this idea a step further. If beliefs can alter physical health, what else can they transform? Our financial situation, our relationships, our sense of purpose? Neuroscientists have discovered that the brain is neuroplastic, meaning it can rewire itself based on our thoughts and experiences. Every time you reinforce a belief, whether empowering or limiting, you strengthen the neural pathways that support it. In other words, the more you tell yourself that something is impossible, the more your brain ensures you never see a way to make it possible. But here's the key. The same mechanism can be used to reshape your reality. If you deliberately shift your focus, your brain will adapt, rewiring itself to align with your new perspective. Think about the rules you have lived by. You have to work hard to succeed. Money is scarce. Aging means decline. These are not absolute truths. They are inherited beliefs, passed down like hand-me-down clothes, whether they fit or not. And yet, for decades, they have shaped your decisions, your risks, and your potential. But what if these beliefs were nothing more than stories? Stories that can be rewritten. The power of questioning is the first step to rewriting your script. Consider Henry Ford. At a time when cars were a luxury only the wealthy could afford, Ford refused to accept the prevailing belief that automobiles had to be expensive. Instead, he asked, what if we made cars affordable for everyone? That one shift in perspective led to the assembly line revolution, forever altering transportation and industry. The lesson? The most powerful question you can ask yourself is, what if this belief isn't true? Let's make this personal. Take out a notebook and write down the biggest challenge in your life right now. Maybe it's health, financial security, or the fear of being too old to change. Now ask yourself, what belief is keeping this challenge alive? If you are struggling financially, perhaps the belief is, I am not good with money. If you feel isolated, the belief might be, making new friends at my age is difficult. Now challenge that belief. Ask yourself, is this absolutely true? Can I find evidence that contradicts it? Most of the time, you will realize that these beliefs are not based on fact but on past experiences, outdated societal norms, or even something someone carelessly told you decades ago. The truth is, the human brain is incredibly adaptable. Scientists have found that even at age 65, 75, or 85, the brain can still form new neural connections, learn new skills, and reframe old beliefs. In a study at the University of California, older adults who learned new, complex skills such as digital photography or speaking a new language showed increased cognitive function compared to those who simply engaged in routine activities. This means that transformation is not only possible but biologically supported at any age. If beliefs shape perception and perception shapes reality, then by changing your beliefs you can change your reality. It starts with simple steps. Every morning, instead of reinforcing old limitations, take a moment to state a new belief out loud. I am capable of learning and adapting. Opportunities are always within my reach. My age is a source of wisdom, not a limitation. It may feel strange at first, but remember, repetition strengthens neural pathways. The more you repeat a thought, the more real it becomes to your brain. The second step is action. Small, deliberate actions that reinforce new beliefs are what transform them from ideas into reality. If you want to feel more connected, make it a habit to start conversations with new people. If you want to feel more physically capable, take a walk each morning with the intention of proving to yourself that movement is still yours to command. Every action sends a signal to your brain, saying, "This is who I am now." This is not about wishful thinking. It is about reclaiming authorship of your life. For years, you have been living within a framework built by others, shaped by rules you never examined. But today, you begin to see the framework for what it is: not a prison, but a construct. And constructs can be redesigned. There is a powerful moment in life when you realize that the pen has been in your hands all along. The question is, what will you write next? If you have ever gazed into a mirror and felt dissatisfied with your reflection, you might have blamed the wrinkles, the posture, or the tired eyes looking back at you. But what if the mirror itself was distorting the image? What if the version of yourself you've been seeing all these years was shaped not by reality, but by the beliefs you carry? The world does not simply happen to us, we experience it through the lens of our beliefs. These beliefs, though often invisible, shape everything. Our health, our relationships, our finances, even how we perceive time itself. And yet, most of us never question them. We accept them as facts, as if they were carved in stone. But here's the truth. Beliefs are not fixed. They are choices, and like any choice, they can be changed. Consider the placebo effect, one of the most well-documented phenomena in medical science. In study after study, patients who take sugar pills, believing they are receiving real medication, experience genuine improvements in their health. Their bodies respond as if they have been given medicine because their minds believe it to be true. The mind instructs the body, and the body obeys. But the opposite is also true. In the phenomenon known as the nocebo effect, patients who are told they might experience negative side effects often do, even if they have taken nothing but a harmless pill. This is not magic, this is biology. The brain releases chemicals in response to belief, altering our physiology in measurable ways. If belief can heal or harm the body, what does this tell us about its power over the rest of our lives? Our beliefs act as architects, constructing the reality we live in. Neuroscience has shown that the brain is not a static organ but a dynamic, ever-changing system. Every thought we think, every belief we reinforce, strengthens neural pathways. The more we repeat a thought, the more automatic it becomes. If you have spent decades believing that money is hard to come by, or that you are too old to learn new skills, your brain has built well-worn neural highways that support those beliefs. But just as highways can be rerouted, so can neural pathways. In a study conducted at the University of London, adults in their 60s and 70s were trained to juggle. After just 6 weeks of practice, brain scans showed significant growth in gray matter, proving that learning and adaptation are possible at any age. This means that even the most deeply ingrained beliefs are not permanent. They can be rewritten. Think of a time when you felt incapable of doing something, only to later prove yourself wrong. Maybe you once thought you would never understand new technology, but now you navigate your smartphone with ease. Maybe you believed you could never develop an exercise habit, yet at some point you found yourself enjoying daily walks. What changed? Your belief. And when your belief changed, so did your actions. The same principle applies to every area of life. People who believe they are unlucky tend to overlook opportunities. People who believe they are too old to reinvent themselves stop seeking new experiences. On the other hand, those who believe that growth is possible find themselves naturally drawn toward situations that reinforce that belief. Reality does not dictate belief, belief dictates reality. Let's put this into practice. Right now, think about one area of your life where you feel stuck. Could be your health, your sense of purpose, or your social life. Write down a single belief that might be keeping you stuck. Maybe it's, I'm too old to start something new, or it's too late to change. Now ask yourself, is this belief objectively true, or is it just something you have repeated so often that it feels true? Look for counterexamples. Can you think of someone your age who has learned a new skill, started a new career, or built new relationships? If they could do it, why not you? Challenge the belief and then rewrite it. Instead of, I'm too old to start something new, try every day, I am capable of learning and growing. Instead of, it's too late to change, try now is the perfect time to evolve. To reinforce this new belief, take a small action that aligns with it. If you want to believe that new opportunities are still open to you, sign up for a class or reach out to an old friend. If you want to believe that you are capable of improving your health, take a short walk today and recognize it as evidence of your capability. Each action serves as a brick in the foundation of your new belief. The more you act in alignment with it, the stronger it becomes. There is a well-known study about a group of elderly men who spent a week living as if they were 20 years younger. Their environment was set up to reflect an earlier era music, newspapers, furniture, even the way people spoke. By the end of the study, these men showed improvements in strength, posture, and cognitive function. Some who had arrived with canes left without needing them. Their bodies responded to their beliefs. They weren't just reminiscing about the past. They were experiencing themselves differently, and their biology followed suit. Your life is shaped not by time, but by the stories you tell yourself. If you have been telling yourself a story of limitation, rewrite it. If you have been telling yourself a story of decline, create a new narrative, one where possibility still exists, where new experiences await, where the best years are not behind you but ahead. The first step is simple. Start by questioning one belief that has been holding you back. Find evidence that challenges it. Rewrite it into something empowering. And then, take action no matter how small to prove to yourself that it is true. Your beliefs are not just thoughts. They are blueprints. And right now, you have the power to design something new. Imagine you are standing in a dark theater, watching a play unfold on stage. The actors move, the set changes, the plot thickens, but your eyes are fixed on a single spotlight illuminating just one part of the stage. No matter how grand the performance, your experience is limited to what that light reveals. This is exactly how your mind operates. At any given moment, your brain is processing an overwhelming amount of information, sights, sounds, memories, emotions, but your conscious awareness is like that spotlight, only able to focus on a fraction of it. And here's the most crucial part. What you focus on determines your reality. The world isn't just what it is. It is what you perceive it to be. Neuroscience confirms this. The reticular activating system, RAS, a network of neurons in the brainstem, acts as a gatekeeper for attention. It filters through the noise of existence, deciding what is relevant and what should be ignored. Ever notice how, after buying a new car, you suddenly see that same model everywhere? It's not that more of those cars exist, it's that your RAS has been programmed to notice them. Now, think about this on a deeper level. If your brain can be trained to notice a car, what else has it been trained to notice? Struggles? Limitations? Missed opportunities? And more importantly, what would happen if you deliberately trained it to notice possibilities, solutions, and new paths. Studies show that focus has the power to change not only perception but also biology. A Harvard study found that hotel housekeepers who were simply told that their daily work lifting, vacuuming, scrubbing counted as exercise showed significant health improvements over those who were not given that information. They lost weight, lowered their blood pressure, and increased their energy levels, despite making no actual changes to their routines. The difference? Their focus shifted. Instead of seeing their work as mundane labor, they perceived it as a health-enhancing activity, and their bodies responded accordingly. This proves that your focus is not just a mental function, it shapes your physical reality. Now, take a moment to reflect. Where has your focus been for most of your life? Have you been unconsciously tuning into limitations rather than opportunities? Have you been fixating on fears rather than possibilities? Most people have, but the good news is that focus can be redirected. Imagine holding a camera and zooming in on a single object. The background fades, and your subject becomes crystal clear. Your mind works the same way. The moment you decide to focus on growth, resilience, or opportunity, your brain will begin filtering reality in a way that supports that focus. This isn't wishful thinking. It's neuroscience. To harness this, start with a reality audit. Take 5 minutes and write down 3 areas of your life where you feel stuck. Then, for each area, note the first thoughts that come to mind. If you feel financially constrained, perhaps your immediate thought is, money is always a struggle. If you feel disconnected, maybe it's, people my age don't make new friends. These are your current focus points, the scripts your mind has been following. Now flip the script. Rewrite each statement in a way that supports growth. I am learning new ways to attract abundance. I am open to meaningful connections at any stage of life. This isn't just a positive affirmation, it's a command to your RAS, telling it to start looking for evidence to support your new focus. Once you shift focus, the next step is energy alignment. Your energy, your emotional state, your sense of vitality is the invisible force that determines what you attract. Think of yourself as a radio transmitter. If you are tuned into a frequency of fear, scarcity, or regret, that's the signal you send out, and that's what you receive in return. But when you elevate your energy, when you cultivate a sense of possibility, gratitude, and action, you begin to attract different experiences. This concept, once considered mystical, is now backed by science. Studies on heart rate variability show that emotions like appreciation and love create coherent, rhythmic heart patterns, which enhance brain function, immunity, and overall well-being. Simply put, when your internal energy is aligned, the external world begins to reflect it. The quickest way to shift your energy is through movement. Physical movement directly influences emotional states. Research from the University of British Columbia found that regular aerobic exercise increases the size of the hippocampus, the part of the brain involved in learning and memory. But you don't need to train for a marathon. Something as simple as a daily walk with intention can transform your mindset. Walk as if you are stepping into a new version of yourself. Walk as if opportunities are waiting around every corner. Notice how your posture changes when you move with purpose. Another powerful way to shift energy is through visualization. Athletes use this technique to enhance performance, but it applies to life as well. Close your eyes and picture yourself living the life you desire. Feel the emotions of success, of deep connection, of renewed vitality. This is not daydreaming. This is mental rehearsal, and studies show that the brain responds to imagined experiences as if they were real. In one study, people who merely visualized lifting weights showed nearly the same increase in muscle strength as those who physically trained. This means that your mind, when directed, has the power to create real change in your body and in your life. The final piece of this transformation is consistency. A single moment of focus or a single energetic shift is powerful, but sustained transformation requires practice. Develop a daily ritual that aligns your focus and energy with the reality you want to create. Each morning, spend a few minutes visualizing your ideal day. Speak your new beliefs out loud. Engage in movement, even if it's just stretching or deep breathing. And each evening, reflect, did I align with my desired reality today? This practice does not take much time, but over weeks and months, it rewires your brain, retrains your focus, and reshapes your life. You are not at the mercy of circumstance. You are the director of your spotlight, the architect of your focus, the transmitter of your energy. When you become intentional about what you notice, what you feel, and what you project, you stop reacting to life and start creating it. Right now, decide to shift your focus. Decide to elevate your energy. Decide to see what has always been there, the vast stage of possibilities just beyond the narrow beam of the old script. The moment you do, your world begins to change. If belief shapes perception and perception shapes reality, then the next question is inevitable. How do you make real, lasting change? The answer is simple but often overlooked: action. Action is the bridge between who you are and who you want to become. It is the force that transforms an idea into reality, a possibility into an experience. Yet, most people hesitate. They wait for motivation, for clarity, for the right moment. But what if I told you that action doesn't follow belief, it creates it? The greatest mistake people make is thinking they need to feel ready before they start. Readiness is an illusion. No one ever truly feels ready for transformation because change requires stepping into the unknown. The mind craves certainty, but growth demands movement. Consider the phenomenon of neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to reorganize itself by forming new neural connections. Scientists once believed that by adulthood, the brain was fixed, its pathways set like stone. But research has shattered this idea. A study at the University of California found that older adults who consistently engaged in new learning, whether through music, language, or technology, showed significant increases in cognitive function and memory retention. Their brains physically changed. The key? They took action. They did not wait until they felt confident. They acted first and confidence followed. This is the same principle that elite athletes and top performers use. They don't wait to feel like champions before training. They train, and through training they become champions. Yet action is where most people stumble. They overthink, analyze, and hesitate. The mind creates a web of excuses. What if I fail? What if it's too late? What if I'm not good enough? But these thoughts are not truths. They are defense mechanisms designed to keep you in the familiar. The only way to dismantle them is through movement. A simple shift in behavior can unravel decades of conditioning. Consider the 2-minute rule, a technique used in behavioral science to overcome inertia. The idea is simple. If a task feels overwhelming, shrink it down to something you can do in 2 minutes or less. Want to start exercising? Begin by putting on your walking shoes. Want to write a book? Start by writing a single sentence. This method works because the hardest part of action is starting. Once you are in motion, momentum carries you forward. Psychologists call this the progress principle, the idea that small wins create motivation, not the other way around. In a study at Harvard, researchers found that people were most engaged and productive when they experienced even minor progress in meaningful work. The implication is profound. You do not need massive breakthroughs to change your life. You need small, consistent steps. Every action, no matter how minor, sends a signal to your brain. This is who I am now. If you write 1 page today, you are a writer. If you walk for 5 minutes, you are someone who values movement. Identity is shaped through repetition. But action alone is not enough. It must be aligned action. Many people take action, but it is scattered, reactive, driven by habit rather than intention. They wake up and follow the same routines, think the same thoughts, make the same choices, and then wonder why nothing changes. To truly shift your life, your actions must align with the reality you want to create. This means deciding in advance, who do I want to become? And then taking actions that reinforce that identity. If you want to be more confident, practice speaking up in conversations. If you want to feel more connected, initiate social interactions. At first, it will feel unnatural, every new behavior does, but over time, it will become second nature. Consider the story of Charles Eugster, a 97-year-old British man who took up bodybuilding in his late 80s. Before then, he had never lifted weights. Society would have told him it was too late, that he should accept aging. But he did not listen. He took action, and within a few years, he became a champion athlete, proving that the body is far more adaptable than we assume. The lesson? The limits you accept are often just unchallenged assumptions. So here is the challenge. What is one small action you can take today to move toward the life you want? Not tomorrow, not next week, today. Write it down. Make it specific. And then do it. Because in the end, transformation is not about waiting for the perfect moment. It is about deciding that this moment is perfect enough. You have spent years shaping a reality based on old beliefs. Now, with a single choice, a single step, you can begin writing a new story. The question is no longer, can I change? But rather, will I take the first step? Imagine standing at the edge of a vast ocean. The waves stretch endlessly before you, their rhythm constant, their power undeniable. You have two choices. You can stand still, resisting the tide, or you can step forward, letting the water carry you toward a new horizon. This is the nature of transformation. It does not happen in a straight line, nor does it follow a predictable pattern. It happens in leaps, in moments of surrender, in decisions that seem small but hold the weight of an entire lifetime. The final piece of your journey is not just about changing your thoughts, shifting your focus, or taking action. It is about stepping into a new reality and sustaining it. Because transformation is not a single event. It is a way of being. Most people do not fail because they lack knowledge or ability. They fail because they cannot sustain momentum. They make changes, feel inspired, and then slowly slip back into old patterns. Why? Because the gravitational pull of the familiar is strong. The brain, like a well-worn riverbed, prefers the paths it has traveled before. This is why so many people start new habits, only to abandon them weeks later. It is not that they are incapable, it is that they have not learned how to integrate transformation into their identity. But here is the truth that changes everything. The key to lasting change is alignment. Your beliefs, your focus, your emotions, and your actions must work together as a unified force. When they do, change becomes effortless. When they do not, it feels like a constant battle. Neuroscience has shown that identity is the foundation of sustained transformation. In a groundbreaking study, researchers found that people who successfully changed their habits did not just change their behaviors, they changed their self-concept. A person who tries to quit smoking is in a battle with themselves. But a person who says, "I am not a smoker," has already won. The same is true for every area of life. If you see yourself as someone who struggles, you will find reasons to struggle. If you see yourself as someone who adapts and grows, your brain will look for proof of that reality. Identity is the anchor, and here is the secret. Identity is not given. It is chosen. So choose. Who do you want to be? Not in theory, not in some distant future, right now. Write it down. Say it out loud. I am someone who embraces change. I am someone who creates opportunities. I am someone who lives with purpose. This is not just a mental exercise. It is a neurological command. The brain listens to the words you feed it. Studies on self-affirmation show that when people consistently reinforce a new identity, their brain physically changes. Neural pathways associated with the old self weaken, while those aligned with the new self strengthen. This is why affirmations, when backed by action, are not just motivational tools, they are blueprints for reality. But identity alone is not enough. It must be reinforced through daily practice. Just as an athlete trains the body, you must train your mind and actions to align with your highest vision. Create a simple yet powerful daily ritual. Start each morning by visualizing your ideal day not as a wish, but as a certainty. Feel it, embody it. Then, write down one small action that aligns with that vision. In the evening, reflect. Did I live in alignment today? If yes, celebrate. If no, adjust without judgment. This practice rewires your brain, turning conscious effort into automatic behavior. Over time, what once felt difficult becomes second nature. Yet, even with strong habits and a clear identity, there will be moments of doubt. Times when old fears resurface, when obstacles appear, when you wonder if change is truly possible. This is where the final and most overlooked element of transformation comes in: environment. You do not rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your surroundings. If you want to sustain a new reality, you must create an environment that supports it. This means curating the influences around you, your physical space, the people you engage with, the information you consume. If you surround yourself with negativity, doubt, and limitation, your brain will absorb those signals. But if you fill your world with inspiration, knowledge, and encouragement, your transformation will accelerate. Think of this like tending a garden. You cannot force a plant to grow, but you can create the conditions for growth. You remove the weeds, ensure it has sunlight, water it consistently. Your mind works the same way. Remove the weeds, old habits, toxic influences, self-doubt. Create the right conditions, uplifting conversations, continuous learning, meaningful actions. Do this and growth is inevitable. The challenge is not whether you can change. The challenge is whether you will create an environment that makes change inevitable. And so, we return to the ocean. You have spent years standing on the shore, watching the waves, waiting for the right moment. But the truth is, there is no perfect moment. There is only now. The current is moving, and it is carrying you forward whether you resist or flow with it. The choice is yours. Will you let the past define you, or will you step into the limitless potential of the present? Will you shrink back into the familiar, or will you embrace the unknown with the certainty that you were made for more? The life you desire is not in some distant future, it is here, waiting for you to claim it. All it takes is one step, one decision, one moment of saying yes to the possibility of who you can become. Take that step now. Not tomorrow, not when you feel ready now. Decide who you are. Align your focus. Elevate your energy. Take action. Create an environment that supports your growth. And then, let momentum carry you forward. Because once you commit to the journey, once you surrender to the flow of transformation, there is no going back. The old reality dissolves, and a new one emerges. One that you have chosen. One that you have created. One that has been waiting for you all along.